This is the 2024 or 2025 Porsche Cayenne S. Is there anything missing? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. Today we're back at Porsche Shreveport. We're going to tell you about this Cayenne, and I'd say 24 or 25 because there's no changes for 25. So if you want a 25 model, this is what you're going to get. If you want to know more about this particular model at Porsche Shreveport, check out the link in the description of the video. Tell whoever you come in to talk to, if you do, that Tom from Vehicle Visionary sent you. So let's take a look at what we have here. First of all, I love the color. I am a sucker for red. The carmine red color really stands out tremendously here in the bright Louisiana sun. And hopefully we don't give you too good of a look at the Louisiana sun, but we have a little more shadow on this side so I can show you. We do have full LED lighting. You're gonna have the LED projector beam headlight and then the LED daytime running lights in here. I think that looks really nice. The interior is something I definitely like as far as the sporty look to it, but it still has that nice, elegant flair at the same time. Your turn signal indicators are going to be built in down here, and you'll notice that things match. Although you don't have the signal right here, that would look kind of nice if you had two of them maybe. Everything here is also going to be active, so that's one thing that's not unusual with Porsche, but it is here, allowing airflow in everywhere it needs to go. You also have air curtains where it comes through this area and actually works its way out of the fender right here. Might be able to see the daylight there. Not sure if you can or not. And as we work our way across right here on the front end, we're going to see the sensor right here. That's going to help you out with adaptive cruise control and things like that. Going to have a lot of great safety features. We'll try and show you that in the infotainment screen so you can see exactly what's here later in the video. And the gloss black here, I think, matches very well with our red exterior color. And we'll work our way around here with our tire and wheel setup. Tell me what you think about this. I like the red brake calipers. That really matches here perfectly. How about our tire and wheel size? We're looking at 285 on the width, the 45 series sidewall, and the 21-inch wheels. And as we move our way to the rear, that number is going to change just a little bit. We're looking at 315 on the width, a 40 series sidewall, but still the 21-inch gloss black wheels, that Porsche crest right there on the center cap. And we work our way back up here to our side view mirrors. Basically everything you want is going to be here. We do have the body colored mirror caps. Turn signal indicators are built in. They're heated, they're power adjustable, and you have blind spot monitoring. Now let me walk around this way. We'll kind of change positions just a little bit so I can show you one more thing that I know you're going to like, and that is going to be this feature right here. They're also going to be power folding. And a little trick on that, let me have Austin come over here and I'm going to show you something. If you stand back just a little bit where you can see the mirror and the button right here that I'm pushing, watch this. So I'm going to push that button right there and you're going to notice the mirror folds in. But watch what happens when I push it again and watch the mirror. So I push it, we wait, we wait, we wait. It takes a couple of seconds. So if you buy one of these Cayennes, you might find yourself pushing that button multiple times and then realizing, oh, wait a minute, it's the mirror's doing this. It takes some patience. Maybe that's what it's all about, developing patience. Porsche's teaching you patience that you didn't know you had. How about the remote? Well, you can see that it looks like a car. Pretty cool there. There's all of your features and functionality. The one thing that I always think is interesting, I don't know, maybe it's the perfectionist in me, if there is such a thing, but the Porsche crest right here, when you look at the direction the buttons run and how you look at them, well, you have to see the Porsche crest when you turn it upside down for it to look right. Not quite sure what that's about, but it's interesting. Panoramic sunroof. And one thing that's going to be interesting here about the panoramic sunroof is you have a shade, and we'll show you all this later in the video. You have a shade that can be drawn forward and all that good stuff, but it is in a fixed piece of glass. It doesn't open. How important is that to you if you have a panoramic sunroof? And a nice look with our rear roof spoiler right here. You're going to see that obviously helps out not only to look nice, but that actually is functional. We'll work our way down here with our tail lights, and I like that the light goes all the way across right here. So you can see that. I've also got the blinkers turned on this side so you can just see how that looks. And I like our quad tip exhaust back here. Got that slant cut to it. It matches really well. I think it looks right. What do you think? should that be coming from the center? Should that be centered the way it would on some of the other models out there, such as the 911s? Or do you like having it on the outside like this? Personally, I think that actually looks better in this particular case. Just seems to match the size of this Cayenne. Speaking of exhaust, what exactly is being exhausted? Let's pop the hood and we'll talk about that. Under the hood, the power-packed twin-turbo 4-liter V8. 468 horsepower to be exact, 468 pounds-feet of torque, and that's all going to be mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. And with all that horsepower and torque, what kind of numbers can you expect for MPGs? Well, it's always best to just show you on the window sticker, so that's exactly what I'm going to do here. So here's what we have. If you're good and don't have as heavy of a right foot as I do, you're looking at 15 MPGs city, 21 highway, 17 combined, 5.9 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. So what exactly does this bad boy sound like? How about an exhaust clip? And if you're wondering about your gas tank size, some people like to know about that in these videos. It's 23.7 gallons, and you don't have capless fuel fill, the old school gas cap, at least that's what I like to call it, because you're starting to see this on a lot fewer vehicles in this day and age. What is your preference? Do you like the gas cap, or would you rather have capless fuel fill? And while I've never seen a Porsche Cayenne actually towing anything, you can tow up to 7,700 pounds. And we'll go ahead and do this. Well, I say we will. Having some trouble with this. There we go. I guess just my lack of experience. I'm going to let Austin show you the interior and give you the cargo numbers as we do that. You're looking at 27.2 up to 60.3 cubic feet worth of cargo space. That cargo cover right there is easily removable. Not a big deal. But here is something that I know a lot of people are going to like. It's what you find under the floor. Hopefully you never need it, but you know what? If you do, it's wonderful to have that peace of mind that you have a spare tire. And you can see right here that we've lowered the seats down right there so you can see how everything looks maximized. We're going to have our cargo lighting. I like that you have it on each side. Kind of hard to see right there, but over there on the left-hand side on the driver's side, a lot easier. Nice bright lighting. That's going to help out. A little bit of storage right here as well. So you've got quite a few options for things depending on what you want to do back here. But there's one more thing I want to show you as far as configurability with your back seats. And here's what I was talking about. There's a button right here on top of the middle seat. All you do is push that button and you lower this down and it becomes a pass-through. And the convenient thing about that is you only have seating for 2 people back here anyway, so you might as well take advantage of that. Here's what I mean by that. There's what you have. So only seating for 2, just one of those things with the Macan, so total of 4 passengers here. And there's that panoramic sunroof I was telling you about. You can see that it is a solid piece of glass. So you can't actually open that, but you can draw the shade right here forward if it starts to get a little bit too warm. And because it is not very warm today, I'm going to hurry up and show you this. Now you can recline these seats back a little bit so you can kind of see the different settings right there. That wouldn't be very comfortable in this position. There's another setting and then your recline. So we're going to have Austin go ahead and hop on inside because I know he's freezing cold. It is a little chilly here in Northwest Louisiana today. The armrest here on the doors, probably easier to show you over there. Nice and large, plenty of real estate there. And I like the color scheme that we have here as well. Nice large door bins. You can put a bottle in there or whatever you need to. Your rear seat passengers will be nice and happy with that. On the rear of the seats, we're going to find the rear seat pockets. I don't know if I'd call those pockets as much as a net style material, but there's storage space there. Maybe that's a better way to put it. And we're going to have rear air conditioning vents right here. That's good because I know a lot of people like that for their rear seat passengers. And connectivity, we're going to have a 12-volt power outlet, and we're also going to have a couple of USB options there as well. And we have our fold-down armrest here with the cup holders built in, and I still say more automakers need this design because you'll notice that they're vertical instead of being parallel to each other. Why is that important? If they were up here and you put a bottle in one or the other cup holder, well, guess what? passengers can't use that side as an armrest. Here, they can do both at the same time. And there's always some wise guy that gets in the comment section and says, what's the sticker price? And they don't even watch the video. So if you see that person, unless they have a laughing emoji because they're being sarcastic, which I do appreciate it when you do that, a lot of you do, just to get a laugh out of me, and you do. What's the sticker price? It's $117,400. Don't tell anybody in the comments section. Let's see what else you get for the price. Over there on the driver or passenger side, let's get that right, the passenger side, you're going to find an even larger armrest and door bin than what we had in the rear seating area. So if you're a door bin or armrest snob, or one of your passengers is, they need to be in the passenger seat or the driver's seat. And we're going to have a little bit of storage right here with the glove box, nothing out of the ordinary, but there it is. And let me grab this. The one thing that I am surprised we don't have on the driver's side door over there is seat memory. You do have that here on the passenger side over there. We do have it on the driver's side over here. I'm getting ahead of myself. But you can see what's here. At this price point, that should be a given. It just seems like that should automatically be there. But you can see what's here. Also, we're going to have all of our controls for our side view mirrors and all that good stuff. I showed you what this button does earlier, and you know what else is here, I think. You can open and close your rear hatch, all that good stuff. Now, as far as your headlights go, you can just leave everything on auto, but if you do want to turn everything on, you can do that right there, and you'll be able to see on the driver's display that they are on right here. And a very nice look with this particular display. What do you think about that? Do you like it? That's one of the things that we saw change for 2024. It has a nice modern look to it. You still have the analog speedometer right there, so that's definitely nice to have. You've got your speed limit sign recognition right there, and some of the other features that we can use the scroll wheel right here to go through, depending on what we want to see. That scroll wheel might help me get rid of my tongue twists today. There seems to be a few of those for some reason, but it's okay because you can laugh at that. If you made it to this point in the video, I guess you should laugh. And your steering wheel mounted controls, see what all is there, and our paddle shifters. They seem to work. Not the largest, but not the smallest. So I think that's just fine. That's good to work your way back and forth through that 8-speed automatic transmission. And your drive mode selector, this is one of the ways you can select drive modes. You can also do it in the infotainment screen, but you can see what's going on the screen right there. So you have off-road, as you can see. It's going to default to normal. You go to sport. You can tell the sound of the exhaust has changed, maybe. Give you a little bit of a taste or an experience of what that sounds like from our perspective. Now, you also have a control over here on the left-hand side of the steering column that allows me to adjust that. It's tilt and telescopically adjustable, so I can raise that or lower it, or depending on where I want it to be, I can bring it in and out, all that good stuff. And you do have your turn signal indicators there, and your controls for your front window wipers, all that good stuff is going to be here. And our infotainment screen. That's something else we saw change for the 2024 model year. A more modern look, but that doesn't mean more complicated. Very simple to learn and use. You're going to have your built-in navigation. I know a lot of people like to know about that, but you can still use your favorite app off of your smartphone because you do have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto here. So depending on what you need to do, what you want to do, what you want to use, you have your different options where all of that is concerned. We'll go in here into, well, let's go to vehicle first and just show you a few of the different things that are here. Like I told you, you can come in here and change your driving modes if you want to. So you can see what all we have right there. So if I wanted to change to sport, we could do that. We can also change our chassis setting and our exhaust. So depending on what we want, if you want the sport exhaust on or off, you can do that. And assistance. Let's see what we have here. I told you we were going to show you this earlier in the video, and I'm going to keep my word to you. Speed warning. You have your warn and brake assist, lane keep assist, and you can see that you can turn some of these on and off. You also have your lane departure warning. We'll go right there and take a look. Depending on what you want, you might want that off, you might like it low, or you might like it high. I know for me, I like to turn that off when I'm driving around town. If I take a road trip, I'll turn it on. Everyone has their preferences where that is concerned. You can see what else is here. Lane change assist, distance warning. You have emergency stop function. I'm not going to read every single one, but you can see it all here. So that's what your driving aids are going to be as far as that goes. And then we go in right here. We can see that it is a little bit on the chilly side outside at 49 degrees right there. You can see how far we can drive on what's remaining in our gas tank. And what about comfort? Let's go in here and take a look at that. You do have ambient lighting here. Going to be kind of difficult to see here today, but you can see that you can turn the lights on or off. You can change the color, and there are a lot of different colors to choose from, depending on what you want to have. And then you can change your overall brightness in all of the different areas that actually have ambient lighting. So if you don't want everything set to the same percentage, well, there's how you take care of that. So the hunt and peck method is what I like to call this, where we just hunt and peck our way around and find what's here. You can do the exact same thing, absolutely no problem. There you go. There's your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. I mentioned that to you earlier in the video. If you need to go into settings right here, you can do that. Displays, voice control, audio, media. Again, we're not going to cover every single little thing, but just so you know what's here. And what about our cameras? Well, you can see the rear view camera right there. You also have the front and rear parking sensors, so that's going to be very nice and very helpful to us depending on what we need, where all of that is concerned. Nice to know that it's there. We'll go back into park right here and move our way down to our air conditioning vents. You can change the direction of the airflow, and right underneath here, that little cover can be used to hide everything away, or you can put your your phone on the wireless charger right there. We also have a couple of USB options, and it's kind of a satisfying thing, the way that your dual zone climate control and all of the buttons here work. I guess we can call those buttons, but it's just that sound that it makes, the click. Let's see if I can let you hear what that sounds like. I don't know, that's just, for some reason, that's really satisfying to me. I like that. There's something that's kind of old school right there. Be careful when you grab that so you don't fingerprint up your piano black finish right there. But you have the knob for the radio, turning that on and off and adjusting the volume. A little bit of storage right here. And we have another 12-volt power outlet right there in between the two cup holders. And when we open the center console, there's what we have. A little bit of space down there. It's not a ton, but there is some space. And we'll move on to the upper console right here. Now remember, like I said, you can't open and close that sunroof, but here is how you control the shade, which I do have drawn forward. We can show you that real quick just so you can see. And we'll open that up just so you can see what that looks like and how that works. Pretty simple to deal with, pretty simple to figure out. All right, here we go on the test drive with the Cayenne. The handling here is superb. Not something you'd necessarily expect from a crossover SUV, but you definitely have it here. You wouldn't expect that from Porsche, but it's just so much fun to drive, even going over the bumps. You know what? It actually handled that pretty well. A good, smooth ride quality. Now, I am driving in normal mode right now, but the thing is, even in normal mode, let's slow down just a little bit. This one's broken in. It's actually a used model, so I can actually have a little more fun than usual. Not bad. That's in normal mode. So we're gonna go over here to sport mode and have a little fun and see how that goes. Definitely improve the sound, the exhaust a little bit. Let's see, we can let you hear. I don't know if you can hear that or not. I would put the microphone somewhere in the rear, but you'd get too much wind noise out there. But let's see how it goes here. There we go. Get some exhaust crackles. All right. Well, again, since it's used, it's not brand new. I'm gonna do a little launch here, have a little fun. That doesn't really compare to the Macan Turbo Electric, does it, Austin?
No, it was still pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's a pretty good little launch right there. And that's actually pretty impressive. But with all that horsepower, 468 horsepower under the hood, well, that's what you would expect. We're gonna make a U-turn here. And that's something else that I really like here. A nice tight turning radius. That's one of the great things about a smaller SUV. And just overall, so much fun to drive, but also very practical at the same time. You've got all the utility. If you need to tow a trailer, you can do that. If you need to haul something in the rear, well, you can haul something that's a reasonable size back there. Obviously not something you would expect to go in a full-size SUV, but you do have quite a few options here for just everyday use. And so you make a big trip to the grocery store, well, you can do that. You can put all those groceries back there and it's not going to be a problem. Easy to see out of. And I will say the gas pedal is easy to manage. For me personally, I kind of struggled a little bit with the brake pedal. I kind of gave my nephew some whiplash earlier, just not used to the brake pedal. So pretty good braking, but that's a good thing. Doesn't mean it's a bad thing. You might hop in and test drive this exact model and say, I adjusted just like that, Tom. You made it sound like it might be complicated, and it wasn't. So depending on who you are, what you're used to, we'll maybe determine some of that. Overall, a lot of fun to drive. Easy to use, easy to learn technology here. It's nice and modern looking, but like I said earlier in the video, that doesn't mean it's complicated or difficult to learn and use. So you have pretty much everything here you'd want as far as just your heated door mirrors, all that good stuff. They fold. That seems to be a very popular feature among buyers these days, as they want those power folding side view mirrors. And I'm just going to test out the lane keeping assist. Of course, I don't have it set real high. It's not real aggressive right now, but depending on what you want with that, you can change those things as well. I like the adjustability that's built into those driving aids. And the back window is easy to see out of. Some people ask about that because you have that slant back there, the angle, and they wonder, well, does that make it hard to see out of? Not in this particular case. Overall, a great, well-balanced SUV. And obviously, you don't have to go with the S trim level. If I was going to buy a Macan, I would, but then again, I always like to have as much power as possible so I can have as much fun on those spirited drives as possible. And there it is, the 2024 or 2025 Porsche Cayenne S. Is there anything missing? Well, obviously this model may not be as spec'd out as it could be. It has a lot of features and options, but tell me what you think about this. Is it just right, maybe, is a good question to ask. There are some things that aren't here that you can add, depending on how much money you want to spend. If you want to spec yours out, however you want to do that, you can order it, or you can just come in and buy this one, whatever the case is. So tell me what your thoughts are. I do want to say a special thanks to our friends at Porsche Shreveport for loaning us this Cayenne for the day. And a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give us the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. That's very helpful to us. Make sure to share this video on your timelines on social media, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. If you'd like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and we'll see you there.